Hi, this is Joe from Mormon Geeks. And let's end this right. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This is the end, folks. This is the last Harry Potter movie in this series. And it's a good one. What happens here? Well, biggest chunk of the plot is spent Harry has to kill Voldemort. He takes some time wiping out the rest of his Horcruxes until it's a big showdown between him and Voldemort. We get a piece where Harry actually has to sacrifice himself in order to beat him because it turns out Harry is the last Horcrux. There's a part of Voldemort inside of Harry. So he has to die or else Voldemort doesn't die. But then he comes back because of reasons and beats Voldemort. And the story ends. Okay, I know, I'm skipping over a ton of it, but we all know how this all worked out. Honestly, it's filmed pretty well. I like the visuals. I like a lot of what happens with Harry. I like following the kids. It concludes things. We get the stupid, cheesy ending that I personally I'm not super interested in. I don't like them taking everybody ahead 10, 12, 20, whatever years and saying, oh, and Harry's still happy. I don't buy it. That's my own personal thing with Happy Ever After, though, which I'll get into another time. For me, the real climax of this film is Severus Snape. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the Harry Potter films, why are you watching my review? Go watch them, then come find me. But we find out that Snape's been on the good side the entire time. Now, Severus Snape has been a very interesting character throughout this series because we've never quite known where he stood or what his real beef was. Piecemeal throughout the series, we've gathered that him and James Potter, Harry's father, didn't get along in school. And that James actually bullied him. Like, this is a very interesting thing. James Potter, who's supposed to be this big hero, who's Harry's father, who has this huge emotional connection to the readers, to the story, to our main character, was a bully. I mean, and it's not even like, oh, he was misunderstood, oh, Snape deserved it, because Snape didn't deserve it. Snape was a good person, and that we find out also Snape was in love with Lily Potter, or Lily Evans as it was known back then. And he wanted to marry her. He loved her, but it didn't work out. She wanted someone more like James Potter. And while they stayed dear friends, Snape always carried a torch for her. And because of that, he kind of watched over Harry while he was at Hogwarts. Watched over? To me, this creates the most interesting dynamic. Snape hated James Potter, but loved Lily. So the way he treats Harry is his reflection of his own damage. He's damaged by what James did to him in school and takes it out on Harry, but won't go as far as to kill him or even betray him because he still loves his mother. To me, this makes him one of the most interesting and dynamic characters in almost all of literature. Okay, maybe not all of literature. Work with me. He's an extremely dynamic character because he's so complicated. He's a good guy, but he's not always helping the good guys all the time. There are times when he's a flat-out antagonist towards Harry. There are times when Harry has to put him down. And where he's even going against members of the Order. He is going to turn over Sirius Black to the Dementors if Harry hadn't intervened. And he really doesn't like Lupin. But he stops. So this character is very interesting because at the end of the day, he's fighting Voldemort. He is the hero. He even he even kills Dumbledore because someone needs to kill Dumbledore. That way, he can get in good with Snape or with Voldemort and really protect the kids and really help Harry. Snape is a person who will do what needs to be done for the greater good, including sacrificing himself, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, socially. He lost all of his friends. There were people who he liked who he had to kill. And he had to sacrifice his own morals for that good. That's a real hero. And in fact, because of this, I have a theory to propose. Harry Potter, the story in and of itself is not really about Harry. Harry is a very important character, but Harry is very static. The Harry Potter we meet in book 1 is basically the same Harry Potter we have in book 7, minus a few extra skills. He is still brave. He is still Harry. We don't learn anything really more about him. He's just him. He gains a couple extra powers. Snape, on the other hand, is very dynamic. We never know where he truly stands until the very end. And for that, I think that the story is really his. It's about a man who is trying to struggle with losing the love of his life and fighting in a war that has some very iffy sides and the decisions he has to make during that war. So, my favorite character, Severus Snape. I even kind of have his hair. What I want to talk to you about more, though, because again, we know how this ends, the good guys win. I want to talk about what Harry Potter did for media in general. If it wasn't for Harry Potter, we would not have a lot of the series that we have now. Before Harry Potter, the basic formula for a sequel was the first movie comes out and we see if it makes any money. Because of that, a lot of first movies just wrap up at the end. And when a sequel, and if they did make enough money, then the writers have to go back and figure out a way to reintroduce those characters into the world and start in a second story. A good example of this would be Pirates of the Caribbean. If you remember in the end of the first one, the movie ends and the story's pretty much wrapped up. They don't hand it much else. It wasn't until the second one that all of a sudden it's, and this all is happening, and this is all happening, and they decided to make 3. So then the second one, the story ends with an ambiguous note because they're going to make a third. The idea, though, that an audience would sit through 8 sequential films, one after another, and follow the story, the characters, and everything else was unheard of. So because of Harry Potter, we now have, for better or worse, the Transformers series, for much better, the Lord of the Rings series, and for my love and for my happiness, the Avengers universe. We have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where they have built a huge library of films that all go together, and the audience is going to follow it. They would have never tried this had Harry Potter not succeeded first. So that's a huge bonus. Like I said, for better or worse, there's a couple of the series we got because of Harry Potter. The Twilight Saga. No one would have thought the idea that we could make a huge book series like that into a movie series, and that it was okay to split one of the movies in half. That's the same reason why we've got 3 movies for The Hobbit, for better or worse. It works. You can say that, the Twilight thing is the worst thing ever. I'm not going to say it's the worst thing ever, because I saw Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie. So, I'd rather watch Twilight than that. And yeah, that's where my standards are. But because of that, we've been able to experiment and been open to other ideas. Ender's Game is a movie series. They would have never tried that before Harry Potter. The Hunger Games is a movie series. They never would have tried that before Harry Potter. They're talking about building the DC Cinematic Universe. That's coming off of Marvel Cinematic Universe, but that wouldn't have been made without Harry Potter. This thing has changed media, and I don't think we're going to see the lasting ramifications, or I think we're going to see lasting ramifications of this for a very long time. One last thing, too, is that it's also created the love of books that a lot of kids now have. Talking to people, I still hear people of my age saying how much they love rereading the books and how much they love the Harry Potter series. And, yeah, with my critiques of it, well, I'm a whiner. Let's face it, I just whine about things. I still love them. As much as I have complained for 8 videos about Harry Potter, I still love the Harry Potter books. I still love the characters. I think that Hagrid is an awesome character. I love Sirius Black. And Severus Snape. I want to show you something. Okay, so this is going to get kind of weird. Look at that. Do you see up there? Right there. That's my Lego Hogwarts. I built it out of all the Lego Harry Potter sets. I combined them together and built one Lego Harry Potter Hogwarts set. And I love it. It's one of my favorites. And I mean, I'm a Lego collector. See? Whole shelf full. That's the Tower of Orthanc. And over there, that's the Death Star and Arkham Asylum. So, believe me when I say that I have experience with Legos, and that's one of my favorite sets because I love the richness of the Harry Potter story and that universe so much. So, in case anybody who is ever involved with Harry Potter ever sees my videos, thank you for creating them. Thank you, Rowling, for writing this beautiful world. Thank you for writing such an interesting concept, and thank you for being so brave to make this into a film series that changed the face of cinema, especially for geeks like me who are into book series and comic books, and who are excited to see these new, innovative concepts in film. So, that's it. That's the end of my Harry Potter reviews. I am Joe from Mormon Geeks. Follow us. Tune into some more of our stuff. There'll be more videos coming out, more board game reviews, more film reviews, and I'm always taking requests. Let me know what you want to see on here, and I will see you later.
That video sure was fun. Yeah, we should totally follow them on Facebook and Twitter and on MormonGeeks.com. Yeah, and we should hit subscribe to their YouTube channel. That's a great idea. Yeah.